Another one? What's with these guys?
Hello everyone and welcome to Red United TV. It's your boy Ivorian Spice and we are back at it again with the catch-up volume 85. Wow, we're on the 85th episode. I truly can't believe it. I remember when we first started, I was by myself doing this on my own, but now it's developed. We've got people in here joining the stream as always, man. Make sure you guys subscribe, smash that like button. Also remember to share because we are here to discuss everything Manchester United, especially the game against West Ham, and of course your Premier League review for the other team, the Ops, as always. But let me get straight into it. Get straight into it by introducing you guys to the panel. Of course, let me start it off with Jerome. Big up, Jerome. How you been, bro?
Yeah, man. All good in the hood, man. Yeah, just had a birthday weekend. Just
happy birthday. First of all, before that, let's wish you a happy birthday. As you know, it was Jerome's birthday last week. We're not going to say how old he was, but it was his birthday.
I leave it down to everyone's judgment, but I like to think that I've still got the youth in me. But yeah, no, the weekend was live. Went out for drinks, and then obviously good result with United yesterday to round it all off. So started the weekend on a high and ended it on a high. So I was happy with that. So yeah, it's looking promising now. Getting that hard to beat mentality instilled in the team. So yeah, it's all positive.
Definitely. And let me introduce you to Ems. Ems, it's been a while since you've last been on here. How you been, bro? Big up to you. Welcome back.
But I think people have missed me, I'm not gonna lie, I think maybe
absolutely.
But no, I've been all right, man. Still, man, it's been all right, It's been good. It's been good, not bad. But yeah, man, I'm ready to crack on, get with the show. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And then of course we've got Moses, who's made his second appearance out. Appearance number 2, Moses from Wonderball Media. Of course, guys, make sure you subscribe to Wonderball Media. Make sure you follow Wonderball Media as well. Make sure you follow everyone else social media accounts. Moses, how you been, brother, man? Welcome back again. It's lovely to see you,
bro. It's good to be back to back appearances. I'm happy to be here again, boy. I feel like I'm starting to get into a bit of a ritual here. Man United get a win, I pop on Red United TV to chop it up in it. So, yeah, man, happy to be here. Happy to be joined by the panelists as well. But yeah, man, make sure you're hitting that like button, people. Make sure you're subscribing to all of the people's on here, Red United TV. Pick up every time. But yeah, man, let's cut it up without any further ado.
Of course. Let's cut it up, guys. Let's not waste any more time because it is Manchester United 1, West Ham 0. Marcus Rashford bullet header bursting the bubbles of West Ham with that. Marcus doesn't really score headers that much, For him to score it, especially with his eyes not closed, brilliant, man. Because we've seen Marcus Rashford head the ball with his eyes closed, like me, like an unprofessional football player, because I'm scared to head the ball. A professional player closing his eyes to head the ball, that is something else. It's like, you're a professional. You're supposed to be used to this. You do this in training. You do this 5 days a week, including the weekend. So you're like, come on. But Marcus Rashford scoring the winner for Manchester United after that goal, especially in the first half. Manchester United showing resilience toward the end. David De Gea, another worldy masterclass performance toward the end where he had nothing to do throughout the whole 90 minutes until the last 20 minutes. And he showed exactly what he's made of. Balls of steel, the defense as well, including a Harry Maguire. We still kept a clean sheet, which was amazing to see. But of course, let's get straight into it. Let's discuss the match. Of course, who wants to be first to open up the game against West Ham? Ems, go ahead. You have the floor.
Mate, I think this is a good way. We won the game ugly. And I think sometimes you can't always play pretty football. Sometimes the dogged ones are sometimes always the best ones. You know what I'm saying? And I think the West Ham game, they put pressure on us. They put proper pressure on us. But David De Gea was amazing. Diego Dalot was amazing. Martinez exceptional. That's how certain man like Graham Souness, bro. I can't stand that guy, bro. Just chatting rubbish, bro. Bro, it irritated me, bro. It irritated me. Man saying Martinez not particularly good on the ball. He's not quick. All he is aggressive. And I'm like, do you watch the game? So, like, for me, the only thing that scared me, that time, Maguire, did you see that one? Did you see that one?
Which one are you talking about? The Bowen one?
Oh, yeah. I think he was so high, and then Martinez had to cover him. Is it that one? Was that one, Nick?
I just closed my eyes when that happened, bro.
Especially when Maguire's on the ball.
Yeah, but all in all, I think you've got to be impressed with the performance. Even though it wasn't a great performance, but just be impressed that we managed to grind out the 3 points. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's all good. Like just to touch on that. Oh, sorry, you done? Oh no, just to touch on that. Yeah, like Em said, it's good to win, not play well, but still win, because that shows that we're actually making progress. Because if this was last season, we would have drawn or lost that game. Like, we would have just folded under the pressure. But now we've kind of got the hard to beat mentality that Erik ten Hag is instilling in the team, and we're not conceding goals, and we're not like conceding chance after chance, because it's not that long ago where we were getting pammed every week at Old Trafford. Teams were just rolling up and just making themselves at home. But now we've got that doggedness now, and I think it's partly to do with ETH and the signings that we got. Like, Martinez he's just impenetrable, literally. Like, this guy is just, like, the stick that he got at the beginning of the season to now, the way he's transformed is just crazy. And the fact that Graham Souness is still criticising him, that just shows you that we're actually making progress. Because one thing I've realised is that if we're shit, then these pundits will say that we're good when we're not. And they'll start saying Harry Maguire is good and McTominay needs to play every game and all that nonsense. Now we're actually playing well. They're trying to criticize our players. So you got to take that as a positive, because, the haters don't like people winning. So that's what I've got to say about that.
Facts. And Jerome, on that, as the amount of time last season, do you see when pundits are pretending to care about Man United? Trying to be like, oh, Man United just can't be doing this, man. Man United can't be in the mud like this, man. They're too big a club. Nah, listen now, yeah. Now Man United look like we're moving in the right direction. Yeah. Now all these pundits now want to poke holes and try and be like, oh, nah, Martin, I'm not sure about him. He's too short. What? Listen, we've seen. I don't need to do the talking. My man's showing on the pitch what he's about. But look, I wanted to start this by saying I had to show some respect to the Centurion, innit? The birthday boy. Sorry, Jerome, I didn't wish you happy birthday, innit? But Marcus Rashford,
25 today.
Do you know what? Yeah, what I clocked was, I remember the last time Marcus Rashford missed the header and I was like spitting feathers was the Newcastle game. I don't know if you lot remember that chance right at the end of the game.
That was a sitter.
Sitter, and he missed it. And then next thing you're hearing, or like, he scored that goal in the Europa League, and then you get Ten Hag coming out being like, yeah, we've been working on heading. Like, we're seeing the results on it now. And what it's less about Marcus Rashford improving his headers, and for me, what I love to see on the pitch are players improving. You know what I mean? Players developing their game, and you can see Ten Hag is a stickler for development and for learning and coming into training 100% every single with the right mentality. And you're seeing the benefits of it now with Marcus Rashford. If Marcus Rashford can get into those positions, my man, the way he jumps in the air, he soared like a salmon, bro. On that back post, Kera had no chance whatsoever. If he can do that, if he can get into those positions, he's got all of the physicality they needed. And what this just reminded me of a little bit is, remember when Ronaldo learned how to head?
Yeah.
And we got them goals against Roma, like that flip when he jumped from the edge of the penalty box. That's what I hope to see from Rashford, because he's developed his game to a point, and he started in it. But like now, I'm trying to see him develop his game, hone his skills. And I want to see at least 5 headers at minimum a season now. I want to see 5, because that back post, that's money.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I was gonna say it's funny you say that, because I was thinking with Ronaldo in the ranks, ain't this guy learning from Ronaldo on how to head the ball? So he's making me think that there was question marks over Rashford's attitude. Like, was he not like learning from senior players in the team and just doing his own thing? But now it looks like now Etix is in. Now he's just taking note now and knocking him down, because Ronaldo is basically one of the world's best ever headers of the ball. So he's definitely must be picking up something from him now, and he must have changed his whole mindset now that we've got a new positive approach to the team.
He's eating now. He's not feeding. He's eating.
Do you know for me, right? Do you know for me though, right? So last thing about this whole Rashford thing, right? And it's you can tell, Ten Hag's had 12 games, and man's coaching what to do compared to the man in the previous regime 3 years ago, bro. Because man couldn't answer a simple question. What's your philosophy, bro? Man said simple decisions. Was it simple decisions? Make the right decisions. Just get to the or was it express themselves, enjoy themselves?
Express like have a smile, like
I just want them to go out and play, express themselves, enjoy themselves, play a smile on their face. You know what I'm saying? At least like with Ten Hag, win, lose or draw, his face come the end of the game don't change. That's the mentality. The mentality. Because I feel like the only time you're gonna see him proper like express or smile is probably we win trophies, and that should be the only time you should be smiling. Do you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you're at a top club, standards, bro, standards, and he brought standards and discipline. It's probably the first coach, probably maybe since Van Gaal, because Van Gaal was quite disciplined to a degree. They've had proper discipline. The others, it's been a joke.
Obviously, you had Mourinho, who was a hard knock, tough knock to crack as well. He was a disciplinarian, but he did things. He went about it the wrong way,
Wrong way. Yeah.
Another thing that caught my eye yesterday, of course, besides Marcus Rashford's goal, it's the way Manchester United are getting themselves out of traps in terms of their passing. I was saying this to Ems earlier on. You can clearly see the rondo training that Ten Hag is doing is much more effective. We can move out of traps from defense and go straight by making a sequence of 3 passes and go straight back on the attack. And that's one thing that's improved under Manchester United. I'm much more confident in midfield. They can get themselves out of tricky and tight situations and do intricate passes. That's improved a lot. So big up Ten Hag for that. Another player that did extremely well, Diego Dalot. Everywhere. Covering on the pitch. Headering. He was on the left side. He was on the right side. I was like, yo, Dalot, what's your position? He was in midfield. He thought he was Cancelo. He said, I'm going to do what my Portuguese companion does. Just be everywhere.
I don't mind a B-Tech Cancelo, bro. I don't mind
me
that.
Too.
That's still a high standard. Still a high standard.
But you know what though? Credit to Ten Hag. Man brought in ballers that can play under pressure compared to the previous man. So now, I can't mention. I'm sorry. So now we've got people we don't have to deal with Matt Fred that when they get the ball, they don't even want the ball. Then when they get the ball, they pass it back. They don't turn, there's no angles. Now we're getting and Casemiro, Let me mention Casemiro, because he had Modric and Kroos. Man didn't need to, play them passes. But now I think you're seeing his qualities. Like, man is actually very, very good on the ball, better than I thought. I'm not gonna lie. I knew he was classy, but I think Man United are gonna give him. Yeah, I think Man United are gonna give him the platform to play. And I may say, a couple shows ago, I wasn't sure Martinez. I wasn't sure because I weren't, you know what I mean. But I like to apologize and take it back. That man has shown me that I think he's our most important defender at the back. If he gets injured, I think we're crumbling. Personally, he's a leader, a warrior.
Absolutely. Love him. Love that guy. Love Lucha. Love that butcher. And Moses, what do you have to say as well? Because you wanted to say something before M spoke.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't remember what I was going to say initially, but I've just got another point to make in it. Like, even just hearing all the other guys like on here just shouting out random players, we could keep going, you know. We could keep going. We got even look. First of all, even Harry Maguire. Look, I'll touch on this briefly, but even Harry Maguire put in towards the end. He at least he held it down somewhat. Do you know what I mean? But he was still sus. Look, I can't help it, innit? I'm too much of a realist with Maguire. I'm too much of a realist.
Yes. But, I like you.
But elsewhere on that pitch, Luke Shaw as well. What the hell? Like this guy for me anyway, I was gassed when we got Malacia because I was like, this is going to be, okay, cool. This is the sort of defender that works in a Ten Hag system. But obviously, Malacia went for a bit of a dodgy bit of form. I mean, it was after the Man City. Was it after Man City? Yeah, it was after Man City. He kind of came out of the team. But look at Luke Shaw now. And like, this is reminding me of that season when Brandon Williams came in and just started pressuring Luke Shaw. And then his game just upped. And then he went to the World Cup. And then obviously, we know how well he played at that tournament. But I've been really impressed with Luke Shaw since he's come back in terms of his dribbling, his technical ability, the timings of his runs. I've been so impressed. So like we can keep going. Diogo Dalot, David De Gea, Casemiro, Eriksen in that midfield with Casemiro. Now Casemiro, I mean Bruno's further forward, but I feel like Casemiro in Eriksen has. I'm not going to say he's on the same level as Modric or Toni Kroos, but he's got a baller there. He's got someone he can vibe off, where he can play a touch around the corner. Eriksen, and we saw for the goal as well, Bruno and Eriksen combining. We finally got a midfield that has some personality as well, that can take the ball under pressure and can play the right pass. Do you know what I mean? So for me, look, I know it wasn't a vintage performance, but in terms of the squad and the players that we put out there, the performances are just, yeah, man, they're kind of going under the radar a little bit. But wow, like I could name a lot more players that played well in that game. And I mean, yeah. Anyway, but that was my point. I'm surprised by how many performances we're getting. We usually get one or two a game, but they're getting a fair few more.
Yeah, with you, most I agree on that, because now you're seeing not just one or two players performing well during the match. You're seeing 4 to probably like half the team before. During the previous regime, as Ems always says.
That's right.
10 men had a bad game. You know? How's that possible when your whole team is underperforming and no one wants to highlight that problem? And it was consistent. I want to throw a question to you, Jerome, of course. How important was it for Manchester United to win that way, to learn to win ugly as well under Erik ten Hag's regime? Because, of course, we've won games in just various ways. But this game yesterday was very important to win in that kind of way, to show character, to show whether Manchester United have character to see a game out.
Yeah, you've literally just said it. So it's all about character and the mindset in the team. Like when things are not going well, you just need someone to just take the game by the scruff of the neck and just say, right, lads, we just need to get through this. We're not playing well. We'll just to get this win and just move on to the next one. Like we know that the games are coming thick and fast, and it's almost impossible to play that perfect football every single game, especially when we're playing like two to 3 games every 8 days between now and the World Cup. So I'm just glad that ETH has instilled that sort of never say die mentality, and he's literally just changed the whole mindset of the team, where even if it's 0-0, we won't panic. We'll just remain calm. We know the goal will come eventually. He's set the foundations. He's made the defense very hard to get past. Like I think we've only conceded like one goal at Old Trafford the last few games or something like that. Like the statistics is mad. I think over the last few games we've only conceded that one penalty at Stamford Bridge. So going back since the Man City defeat, we've been more or less rock solid. So there's definitely something that we're building here. And as you said, the mark of progression is not playing well but still winning. Because if we're not playing well and still winning, and playing well and winning, then sooner or later we're going to be able to challenge the likes of City and the top teams that for actual trophies, and not just at this stage just looking for the top 4. So it's pleasing to see. And now we can actually just sit back and just watch the game without any anxieties, or just hiding behind the sofa, praying for the full-time whistle to go. Now it actually feels like we've got some stability in the team now. It's not just all over the place. It's like, thank God for that. The final whistle, we just about scraped it. Obviously, it was a bit tight at the end, but in general, we could just feel a bit more relaxed, knowing that there's a solid base in the team now. that we can work with?
100.
For me, I don't want to bring it down now, but I feel like we need to add a bit more depth in the squad because certain man, like I feel like we was playing with 10 men to all man had come off the pitch, bro. Elanga was non-existent, bro. I don't know what man brings to the team. I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. I feel like Garnacho could have done a better job because every time I see Elanga, he's like a B-Tech Rashford, runs into cul-de-sacs, bro. And I don't want to be negative, but that for me, I'm sorry, he's not Man United quality. He either needs to go on loan and improve, or I don't know. For me,
I think
I've seen enough.
I think that was the plan during the summer to send Elanga on loan, but of course, the way things turned out for Manchester United, they had to keep it. I remember that, guys, and towards the end of the transfer window, they planned to loan out Elanga, but the way things were turning out in the transfer window, they had to keep him. But I'm with you. You could have paid Garnacho, which I think Garnacho himself would have probably more better impact. I'm wondering why Ten Hag himself is not playing Garnacho as much as he should be compared to Elanga.
I think I've got a theory on that though. I think it's I think he's played 1 minute of Premier League football this season, Garnacho, or maybe in the past as well. He can't be. If you put him on the right hand side, I don't know if that's the best move for Garnacho. I think he needs to be playing off the left. Personally, I think he looks more effective there. I hear what you're saying about Elanga. There's that final bit of quality. He gets into good positions. Like there's that chance he had where I don't even know if that was a pass back to the goalkeeper, or I don't know what. That left foot strike wasn't even a strike. You can't call it a strike. It was like I don't even know. That was
just laughable.
I think I know what chance you're talking about.
Yeah, when it went out for a throw-in.
I looked away. The ball still hadn't gone out.
Yeah, I think what it is that I actually agree with Ems. I think our first 11 is actually good. It can compete, but I think once we get 1 or 2 injuries, or we have to make some changes, and the drop off in quality is like there for everyone to see.
It's dramatic, bro. Everyone's talking about Arsenal. If they lose 2 players, it's peak. But for me, especially when certain man like Jadon Sancho is picking up his wages and man ain't putting his weight on the pitch as well, that's another concern, bro. I'm actually worried, bro, that if we don't keep certain man fit the spot, I reckon if we're gonna get top 4, the keeper, Varane, Martinez, Casemiro, and Eriksen, that in particular, if that breaks up, it's problems, in my opinion. I know we done well against West Ham, but I don't think we can go on a run without that 5 I mentioned, in my opinion.
You're forgetting Dallo as well.
Oh, Dallo, sorry, Dallo. Yeah. I had 3 seasons of Booker T, bro. That was a nightmare. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, those spinneroonies, mate.
Absolutely. Now I'm with you guys on that one, man. And of course, guys, before we move on to the other games, I'm gonna go around and ask for you guys man in the match. You know, it's probably hard for you guys to pick a man in the match, but I'm gonna start off for myself. It could have gone between David De Gea and Dalot, but I would have to give it to Diego Dalot, man. He was exceptional, man. He's been positive, you know. I know there's some people that just don't understand what Dalot does, you know, have their hate towards Dalot, but so far this season, Dalot has improved tremendously and has done well under Eric Ten Hag, you know, and he hasn't even had rest. But yeah, yesterday the shift he put in, wow. No, I'm wondering what his stamina is like these days, you know, because to do that for 90 minutes all over the place, defending, headering, clearing, getting involved in the attack, whipping some crosses in, although it wasn't, you know, successful crosses, at least he did it. Ems, I'm going to move it up to you. Who was your man in the match?
You know what? Mine's gone for Diego Dalot, bro. He impressed me, bro. He impressed me. I told these Man United fans, give this guy a run of games. Give him the same amount of games as Booker T, bro. You'll see the difference, bro. I told, bro, you know what, in football, no one told me any different. It's easier to defend than it is to teach how to attack, bro. It's true. So all Dalot had to do was defend, and then, bro, we'll be up there one of the best fullbacks in the country, and that's real of it. Because, fam, you can't teach someone to have a good first touch, bruv. You know that. You can't. You have a goal, you don't. It's true. That's why right now, Wan-Bissaka chewing gum in his girl's bedroom buying credit, fam. So, bro, it's the truth, bro. But, no, Dalot's man of the match, though. But it would have been their hair, but Dalot, because, bruv, you know Antonio's a beast, bruv. I saw a couple of times Antonio tried to go on him, take a job over him. Dalot wasn't having it. So, I give it to Diego Dalot, bro. I'll tell you that.
And of course, Moses, what about you? Who was your man of the match in that game?
It's good. I'm gonna have to go with you guys, isn't it? For me, Diogo Dalot. Look, there's not much more I can say apart from what you guys have said on him already. But for me, he's the best right back in the league right now. I can't think of another right back who's, in terms of form and current ability, I think Diogo Dalot is the best. He's so important to this team. He's so important. I wouldn't even want the amount he's improved. He's the most improved under Ten Hag. I don't know what Ten Hag's done, but my man's looking like the player that we signed from Porto when he was 18, 19. And Jose Mourinho was saying, we've got a right back here for the next 10, 15 years. And a couple of seasons ago, I was like, oh, maybe even last season, I was like, are you sure, Jose? Like, I know he's got a decent talent ID, but like, I wasn't so sure. I thought he missed with this one because the thing I remember him for being good at was whipping the ball in when he was at Porto. He could cross a good ball, but that's the only thing that I'd hold against him now is that he's not getting enough assists from Diogo Dalot. I think he gets into such good positions. He's got a good cross. A lot of them are just like a few. It's not far off. The crosses aren't bad crosses, but I think he'll have a bit of luck. If he gets one or two, I think you'll see him going on a run, and then I think that's when he takes off. But yeah, Diogo Dalot for me he's been like a new signing because he wasn't even here last season, was he? He was at AC Milan. So yeah, I've got to give props to him. He's come in and he's rose to the occasion. He's rose to Ten Hag's style of football. Clearly like is excelling under a manager that's got an idea of how to play in it. And we don't need to go back to previous regimes for me to like hammer that point home in it. It's nice to see a style of play and our right backs, our full backs being attacking, overlapping, getting into the final third, whipping balls in, and like the way. So I'm going off topic, innit? But
go.
Staying in attacks. That's what I'm loving.
Staying in attack. Yeah.
Get out, and I love that. That's what Man United's about. Teams don't come to Old Trafford and think that they can get a goal or they can get a point against us. They batten down the hatches and we pin them back, and then we're incessant. So Diogo Dalot for me, he's representative of that, and I think he's yeah, man. I can't wait to see him keep developing. He's still so young, so we've got a top quality right back, and I didn't think I was going to be saying that at the start of the season. So,
and Jerome, what about you? Who happens to be your man in the match in that game?
So it's looking like it's a full house. Diogo Dalot. You know, one thing, everyone that knows, that I always like an underdog, someone that always proves someone wrong with motivation and determination, because people were saying the same about Martinez when he first started. After 2 games, they wrote him off saying that he's shit. He's Rey Mysterio. He's too short for the Premier League. People were calling him Rey Mysterio. Like, it was that. Trust me, it was that deep. It was like, you know what? I was triggered. How can you spend over 50 mil on Rey Mysterio?
You know what's mad? I think I saw Ericsson do a 619 the other day when he swung.
So when I saw that, and then obviously I'll just use it as an example, but with Diogo Dalot, the amount of people that were saying that Dalot's shit, and they hadn't even seen him play because the previous regime didn't even give him a chance. Literally, we had we had the right back with all the foundations and the potential to be a good right back, but he just wasn't played at all. And then when he went to AC Milan, we could see that he could actually play, and he actually played us against Ollie's team in the Europa League, and we could see that with our eyes, the eye test, that he was actually better than Aaron Bissaka. But he was playing for AC Milan. It just wasn't making sense. And now he's been given a full run in the team. You can see now that he's actually developing under ETH. His defending is increased dramatically. He's almost as good as the apparent Booker T's defending now. So all he's doing now, he's just honing in his attack. He's got the fundamentals. He can pass. He can control the ball, which
first touch
the other guy can't do. got a good first
That's right.
touch. I think the next step for him now is to kind of. I know I've been basically criticizing Luke Shaw like for his like commitment and stuff and consistency, but if he mirrors the way Luke Shaw crosses the ball, makes those runs, and then he could be like one of the best right backs in Europe. Because I ain't gonna lie, I am impressed with the way Luke Shaw's been playing, because I didn't expect him to come out like that after we signed Melasha. But if Dallo can do what Luke Shaw does and get more crosses in the box, then yeah, we definitely got a good one there. And then we'll probably end up buying a new right back to be backup to Dallo, and not a right back to get Dallo on the bench. But also we've got to get rid of the Spinaroonie first. So
Jerome, do you think that like stylistically, like, do you think Ten Hag's telling Dallo don't overlap as much?
It's funny you said it, because a couple of my friends have said that. They said that they're not telling him to like overlap because he wants to keep the ball to sort of recycle and make sure that we maintain compact and we've got someone that's not always out of position. Because it looks like Eric Ten Hag is kind of like trying to build the foundations from the back first and then work his way up to make us more solid. So maybe that could be right. He could be just telling look to just keep bombing forward recklessly and maintain our shape, maintain compact, and then because obviously we don't have the out and out centre forwards that we need at this point. So maybe he's just thinking, let's just start from the back and just build from there. And then obviously next season we might see more attacking from our fullbacks once we've got the new personnel in up front that to replace Ronaldo and obviously get another forward in as well, and then get that more strength and depth in the forward areas. So maybe that could be a possibility.
Yeah, I think it's for me. I want to see Dallo overlapping more. I want to see him go into the touchline and creating a bit more space for Anthony or whoever's that right winger. Just because if he goes around the outside, I feel like Anthony can cut in and he can play that ball in between the left back and the centre back. But for me, yeah, it's hard to criticize Dallo, and I'm pretty sure that he's been told to do that, to stay centrally into. I mean, he was playing left wing for a lot of the game, so.
But do you think he's been told to play now narrow, to stop the counter attack as well?
Yeah.
That might be another thing.
I think it's a defensive.
It could be.
It's definitely a defensive tactic. Yeah.
You see Man City with Kyle Walker, like he don't even overlap himself these days. Man's just there as the insurance blood. Any counter attack, bro. Speedy Gonzalez, you. But
I'm going to stop you there, guys. Of course, we're going to move it on to the second part of the show. For those who are watching, of course, remember to subscribe, smash that like button, and of course, post your comments as always. And if those who are watching on playback, make sure you post your comments. Let me know what your thoughts on the game. We moved up to, of course, the ops. The ops. We're going to discuss the ops now, guys. It's been an interesting weekend for those who support Chelsea and Liverpool. For you, you know. But of course, the weekend's fixtures, we had Arsenal who won 5-0 against Nottingham Forest. Chelsea as well losing. Wow, like they lost to Brighton and them mans, you know, and they laughed at us and thought it was a joke to go down to Brighton and get packed in and concede 4 goals, because we conceded 4 goals last season and lost to Brighton again this season. It's not funny anymore, is it, Chelsea fans? It's not funny. Liverpool continue to lose, and if you've got a Liverpool friend, give them a hug, because they're going through some hard times right now. You know? Real hard times. You know, I said it before, guys. We thought we had a bad start to the season, and we thought we was in the trenches. Look at us now. We're smiling. Look at the Liverpool fans right now. They're just stressed. But yes, Liverpool lost again, which I enjoyed seeing Liverpool lose 2-1 against Leeds. And Man City winning 1-0. You know, as always, Man City can't stop winning. But let's start off with Chelsea losing 4-1 to Brighton. Graham Potter, aka Harry Potter, unable to cast the spells, work his magic on the Chelsea side. His first heavy defeat against his old team, you know, going there, losing 4-1. I'm going to find out, guys. First of all, did anyone watch the match or watch the highlights?
I saw the highlights.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the game, guys?
Yeah, from what I saw, it seemed like, to be fair, I was surprised because Harry. I was going to say Harry Potter. Graham Potter. You would expect him to know his former side. He's only left what a month ago or so, wasn't it? Like 6 weeks. You'd have thought he would have known like that team inside and out and know how to set up his Chelsea team. But to me, it looked like Chelsea were just off it. I think they were just tired from the game in midweek. Because don't forget, Champions League, transitioning from Champions League or the Europa League to the Premier League is not easy at all. People underestimate that. All the travelling and the recovery time and all of that. And it just looked like they were just off the pace. From what I saw, there's a lot of misplaced passes. They scored a couple of own goals. It didn't look like they were up for it. They just looked tired, if I'm going to be honest with you. As much as Brighton were up for it and they were fresh, revitalised and motivated because they were playing against their former manager, Chelsea just looked off the pace. So that could be just like a one-off, to be fair, but it is still a heavy defeat nonetheless.
You see what happened to Chelsea, yeah? Mm-hmm. See what happened to Chelsea this weekend is exactly what should have happened to Chelsea last weekend when we played them. In that first 35 minutes, we should have been 3-0 up. We should have absolutely. Like, I'm not gonna say. Look, I hit your point about Europe and that, and got. It's a tricky one, isn't it? We're playing Europa League, they're playing Champions League, so the levels are slightly different, isn't it? There's not that much difference in it now because the team's dropping down, but there's obviously a higher level in the Champions League. So I hear that point. But for me, I think Chelsea ain't been playing well for a while, and they've almost been like Tottenham. They've not been playing. They're not been putting in mad performances, but they've been getting results. But against Brighton, I think it's just, you know what it's like. You know, when you break up with a girl, maybe you're going uni, innit, and you break up with a girl before you go uni. You come back for Christmas, and then you see her and she's glowed up, innit, and she's just you're kind of looking a bit mad, innit. But like you see Potter in the press conference being like, I ain't got nothing to apologize for. I ain't apologizing. Like they could be like, it seems like to me anyway. Brighton got one over on him mentally, innit. I don't think Potter managed the occasion very well. Brighton were up for that match. You all know that all of them players, they wanted to put in 100% and show their old manager that they're top players. And every time I see Brighton play, I'm more and more impressed in them, innit. I'm more and more impressed in the Zerbi. Obviously, that's his first win. He wasn't. They haven't been. I was surprised by that because I thought they must have got 3 points somewhere before that, but. No, that was his first win against the manager that he succeeded, and I think that Brighton team is a top team, and we saw that earlier on in the season. But for me, Chelsea I don't think Potter's got his head around this team yet because this back five thing ain't working. In my opinion, I don't think it works. Having Cucurella as that left centre back is a bit sus in my opinion. So I think Potter's he's working it out, innit? He's working out this Chelsea team. I think he'll do well. I think he's a good manager. Got a lot of time for him. It's rare, very rare for me to say this about a Chelsea manager, but I like Potter. But yeah, they just got outplayed all over the park. And yeah, for me, I think Chelsea need to have a look at their formation. I think they might have to move away from the back five, and then put an extra man in midfield because they look a much better team they did against us. Obviously, they couldn't turn it around in the second half against Brighton, but yeah, still early doors for Potter. But I'm loving it. Happy to see this.
Loving it too, man. Brighton Munich doing the thing that they do is beating teams. You know, no, Brighton Munich ain't no joke. You know, ain't no joke.
They've been rolling up to the Emirates as well. You know,
yeah, soon, bro.
Good showings as well. Like, they're not a team to be messed with right now.
One player that's been doing so well for Brighton Munich is Leonardo Trossard. He's been phenomenal for them, getting the goals in. Moving up to that, let's move up to our other foes. Liverpool. Ems, take it away. Liverpool losing 2-1 at Anfield. I keep telling you guys, Klopp is going to get sacked this season. But anyway, don't take me serious. I just feel it.
Bro, I don't know. I just, you know what? When it was 1-1, yeah, I just thought we one of them games. You know them games where Liverpool get that jammy goal because this is the copping. That's all I was thinking because the pressure was on. I was thinking, yeah, they're gonna get this jammy goal, and then what's his name? Somerville scored. I was like, wait, hold on, Leeds scored. I was like, no, I don't know if it was just me. And then, but Liverpool got problems though. They got problems. Like Klopp has tried 4-3-3. 4-2-3-1, four the Christmas tree. He's running out of ideas. He don't know how to rejuvenate. Do you know sometimes, some managers have got it and they don't. I think sometimes when players hear the same voice for so long, I think it don't motivate them. That's why you got to give props to Fergie and Wenger doing it for 20 odd years, to rejuvenate themselves and say different things. It's not easy. Do you know what I mean? And also, I think some are overreacting about this whole midfielders age and all this shit, bro. It was only last year they was having the same energy and the year before that. So I personally feel like losing Mane is a bigger blow than some people thought. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, I just feel like Liverpool got problems, and I feel if they don't pick up points next week, this week, sorry, I don't know who they're playing. I'll definitely rule them out getting in the top 4.
Yeah, the thing with Liverpool, the thing I would say is this: they were going for the quadruple last season, and that quadruple was actually realistic. I was actually worried. I'm not even going to lie to you, because they could have beat Real Madrid, and they who was it in the FA Cup?
Man City.
They won the FA Cup against Chelsea. But they could have easily won the Premier League, because it looked like at one point that Man City were going to drop points in that last game against Aston Villa. So there was fine margins. So imagine you're being on a big high, you're going for the quadruple, and then you lose the 2 big ones, and then you just get the 2 small ones, and then now you got to pick yourself up for the new season when everyone's rejuvenated and raring to go. So as Em said, sometimes it could be hard to just motivate the team, like to pick themselves up to go again. That's why I just don't think that he's made the right changes to the team to freshen things up. I know, like when we was winning with Fergie, he used to always make sure they made a few additions just to keep everyone on their toes and make sure that everyone's motivated to go again. But for some reason, the signings that I've seen Liverpool make and the changes, I just haven't been really impressed with it. Like you guys said, I don't know why they let Mane go like that, because for me, he was like their most important player. And then now they're feeling the effects of his actual, not even just his goals, his actual contribution in the actual way that the team play and the passes that he makes and the mentality that he has. They've lost that. And now they're relying on Nunes, a big money signing from the Portuguese league, to just come in and just slot straight in seamlessly and fill the void. And it just doesn't work like that. There's always a transitional period. And now they're feeling the effects of that now. So for me, I know we discussed this last week. I just think that Liverpool are in a transitional period now where they need to regroup, let a few men go and get a few young, fresh faces in and start again, because the performances that I've seen over the last few weeks has been average, to say the least. That's just me being generous, because they lost against Forest and we saw Arsenal pam them 5-0 quite comfortably. That scoreline could have been anything. And they lose against Leeds, who haven't been in good form themselves either. So, and that was at home. That was their first defeat at Anfield in 29 games. So it's just crazy right now. Like, obviously, I ain't got no sympathy knowing that it's Liverpool, but I'm just glad that we're able to take advantage of Chelsea and Liverpool losing and us winning, because under Oli, every time that happened, we always didn't capitalize. That was so frustrating.
Wait. Don't say them again. Carry on.
Okay, the fraud stuff. Under the previous fraudulent regime, he just wasn't taking advantage of these defeats, and now we're doing that now. So now we can look at the table and smile and say, look, we're only like 1 point off fourth and 3 points off third or something like that. So yeah, so it's looking positive.
Let me just intervene there, because of course I agree. I'm enjoying it, first of all, and Ems is right. It's like any relationship, even your relationship with your girl, bruv. You've been with her for 8 years. Where the way she sounds no longer sounds interesting before like it was at the start. When you keep constantly hearing that same voice, it gets you. It no longer feels the same. And that's exactly what it is with Liverpool players with Klopp right now. I'm gonna move up to Moses as well, so he can get the last say. Of course, Arsenal winning 5-0 against who did they play against? Was it
Forest?
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Moses, before we end the show, what's your thoughts on Arsenal's 5-0 victory and Arsenal themselves?
Do you know what? I've been in Arsenal. What they've done well this season is the way they start games, and they start games at 100 miles an hour. I've got to say, I've got a lot of respect for what Arteta's done at Arsenal. The style of play he's been able to implement, and more just the change that we've seen from last season to this season, especially the way they finished that last season, isn't it? Because that's a hard one to pick yourselves up for the next season, because you lose out on top four to your biggest rivals, or to your local rivals, I should say. And the way they did it as well, the capitulation at Newcastle last season, there was no backbone to that team. We saw the team just they weren't up for it. But what you cannot say that about Arsenal this season. So I've got to give them a lot of respect. Hella impressed with Martinelli and Saka on those wings. Those guys look like completely different players. They're not the same players I saw last season, innit? And I think that's credit to them, innit, and credit to Arteta, because he could have gone out. He tried to buy Rafinha, but he's backed these boys, innit, and they're paying him back in kind. Forest for me were disappointing. I'm not gonna lie, they didn't manage to get out their half. I wasn't impressed with Jesse Lingard. I mean, I was kind of expecting something from him at the Emirates. You know, he likes to do his moonwalk or his celebration, but he came off sad. Those Arsenal fans were having a laugh when he came off, bro. I felt bad for the guy, innit, but just for a little bit, innit, not for too long. But I think Forest are struggling, man. They obviously had a good result against Liverpool last week. But yeah, they got humbled, brought back to earth. I've got to give a bit of respect to Gabriel Jesus. He's missing chances like mad, but I'm pretty sure he got 3 assists yesterday. Fantasy's only saying 2 assists, but I'm pretty sure I counted 3 in it. But I've got to give respect to them, to Jesus. He needs to learn how to score. He needs to improve his finishing though. But in terms of a team and whether I think they can go the whole hog. Listen, I've seen Arsenal. We've been in this position before with Arsenal when they're like, we're back, we're going to win the league, we're top at Christmas, and only Arsenal can capitulate like Arsenal. So I'll give them credit where it's due, but it's a 38 game season, and we're 12 games in, 13 games in. Yeah. So Arsenal, I need to see it. I need to see it. Go get to Christmas, get to April. If you can be in with a chance in like April, May times, then fair enough. But I need to see that first.
Yes, again, I think hats up to Arsenal so far for doing well. Everyone, of course, I believe everyone has a huge respect. I think because everyone's seen the All or Nothing documentary and I thought, you know what? I respect Mikel Arteta, you know, people will probably feel the same way. Maybe if they watched Manchester United All or Nothing with the previous regime, and maybe you would have saw the way he was going through it and how stressed he was as well. Then we probably would have felt a bit sorry and probably had more respect for him to see what he goes through, especially the situation he had with certain players not feeling him. You know, I would have loved to see that situation that Aubameyang had with Arteta with I can't even say his name, with that guy and someone like Ronaldo in the dressing room, and thought I would love to see how that turned out. But guys, that is it. This has been the end of the show. Of course, I'm going to ask the guys where you can find them. I'm going to start off with Ems. Ems, where can the people find you? For some reason, I believe you're no longer on Instagram again. Because I tried to mention you, I couldn't find you. I thought you was in the doghouse, mate.
No. Insta's thing was crashing. I don't know what happened. I don't know if you remember. But yeah, my Instagram is ems.w.doms, yeah? And then on Twitter, it is ems.doms.
And Moses, what about you? Where can the people find you? And where can the people subscribe as well?
Yeah, look, people, make sure, like, just type in Wonderball Media on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, not Facebook. We're not on Facebook. And if you want to find me and I'm active on Twitter in it. So go, my handle's there at Moses_Johannes on Twitter. On Insta, I'm at Moses Johannes, no underscore. But make sure, look, forget about myself for a bit. Big up. Make sure you're subscribing to Red United TV every single time. Hit that like button right now before we finish the stream. But yeah, thank you for having me again.
No, you're absolutely right, because there's almost like 200 people watching and 4 likes. How does that make sense? How do you watch something and you don't press the like button? So you just rather just hear us talk? All right, fair enough. Thank you for coming on to watch. Jerome, where can the people find you?
Yeah, they can all find me on Instagram on the username jwilliams_1.
Absolutely, guys. And of course, you can find me on here every Mondays. Back here again on Thursday for the Real Sociedad Watch Along. Make sure you tune in as always. And of course, this weekend's Watch Along for the Premier League. Hopefully, Manchester United another W and then match reactions as well. And as always, make sure you follow the official Instagram account of Red United TV, which is Red United TV1. Guys, we finally reached 15,000 followers. On to the next 5,000 followers to 20. You know, we continue to go. And make sure you guys who are watching as well, make sure you follow us on Twitch, Red United TV. Again, I'll say this one more time. Follow and subscribe to Wonderball Media. It's very important. Follow my guy. Follow Ems and follow Jerome on Instagram as well. And also, they're both on Twitter, so make sure you follow them. And as always, as I said before, big up to everyone that's tuning. Subscribe, smash that like button, press the notification bell. Be the first one to come to watch. And as I always end the show, remember to keep it united. And remember to keep it Red United. We are out. Love from Ems, Moses, Jerome, and myself. Peace.